In this video, we're going to be comparing two different racing wheels from Logitech. We have the G29 and the G923. So these are two of the base models in the Logitech series when it comes to PlayStation enabled racing wheels. We've also got the Xbox versions of these, but today we're just doing the PlayStation version, and we're going to compare the two different models to help you with your own setup for which one to buy, right? So the first place to start is what are the differences between the two different racing wheels. Now, the base difference is that the G923 is a bit of a later model than the G29. So the features that this one has that this one doesn't is one, that it has the PlayStation 5 enableability. With this one, it is mainly for the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4, but it does have the connectability to the PlayStation 5. Now also with this model here, we've got the auto detect feature. So that means that when you plug it into a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4 or a PC, for example, it'll auto detect which model it is, and you don't have a switch like you have on the G29. So for the G29, at the top here, we have a switch that goes PlayStation 4, PC, or PlayStation 3, basically. And with connecting it to a PlayStation 5, you just put it on the PlayStation 4 mode, and it will detect to the PlayStation 5. But with the G29, what I've noticed is that it has some connection issues when it comes to the PlayStation 5. For example, not with Gran Turismo, but with other games like Need for Speed, for example, it will have to be unconnected and reconnected through a different port, like the back of the PlayStation 5. And then that way we can make it work that way. So in terms of overall connectability, I would say that the G923 is the better model for that sort of thing. In terms of mounting, both exactly the same. G923 has this updated software called the True Force, and that is basically for like haptic feedback, vibration, changing gears, usability all together. And the G29 doesn't have the True Force feedback feature. Now they're both connected to Logitech G Hub as well, where you can customize both models in terms of what all the buttons do. So that's very similar. So at the back of the actual wheel, we have these gear changing parts here. And on the G29, it is made out of silver. It is metal. While on the G923, it is still metal, but it's fully blacked out. Now that's also a big difference between the G29 and the G923 is because this one is a full black finish, while this one has a few extra colors, like we've got red, blue, all that sort of stuff. This one has the full blacked out finish in terms of the dial. All the buttons are now fully black, and we also have the Logitech logo there. It's just cosmetic difference. There's no actual difference with the buttons, what they do and all that stuff. All right, so looking at the difference between the two pedals, there is not much difference. Honestly, probably the only difference will be the actual pedal functionality. At the bottom here of both, we have the lever, and we have this part here, which we can just have that come out, and that's for carpet. So one thing I'm noticing with the steering wheels is when I'm pressing them down, the G923 is actually making a sound with the springs, while the G923, they're a bit nicer in terms of the springs. And that brake has a lot more resistance than on the G29 pedal. But both cosmetically are the exact same. So altogether, we've had a look at some of the differences, and we can have a look at the connectability to the PlayStation 5 to see if there are any differences with that. So, like I said before, the G923 is a lot better for connectability than with the G29. So I'll show you. Straight away, when mounting, you'll connect it, and straight away, it mounts pretty easily. There we go. And you'll just get a light at the top, and we get this dial that'll come up here as well. That's all updated. For connecting the G923, connected via USB, it will mount. And then what you need to do is press the PlayStation home button. And then from there, you will be able to connect it. If you press X, and you'll have your user profile come up, you press X there, and it pretty much works straight away. You can use the dial to switch between things. So that's just the basic connectability for the G923. Now we're gonna try the same for the G29, see how we go. So just connect it in. Now straight away it works. It seems a bit slower with the mounting. So that was a thing that I just noticed straight away. We do have the light that appears and stuff like that. It's on the PlayStation 4 mode. So once again, we just press the PlayStation icon, press X when you get to your user profile, and it should work pretty much straight away. And all the buttons basically will feel the exact same all together. Mainly for usability, I found that I turned off vibration straight away when I got to the G923. With the G29, I don't think I've turned off vibrations or anything like that. We can leave it on just for an example and see what happens. Alright, so I've just managed to turn vibration back on, and we'll do a race test to see if there is much difference with the base settings with the G29 and the G923 to show you playability, to see which one's actually worth buying. Alright, so the first test that we're going to do is with the G923. And let's just do race and see how it feels with base settings. Yeah, straight away, there's no vibrations, no proper feedback in that way. I can hear a lot of noise with the clutch pedal. That was like the first thing that I noticed straight away. Like the clutch pedal has this like, it just needs a good oil. Like it just sounds like the spring is just rusty because you're hearing a lot of sound from the pedal. But altogether, feels pretty good, feels pretty smooth. I did feel a little bit of vibration against the resistance of actually turning the wheel. So altogether, pretty good. Like it feels quite smooth. Right there is where I feel more the resistance, but almost like the clutch pedal, it feels like the springs in it could be more smoother or more updated. So I feel like the G923 has better springs inside and better inside components. And there's like sounds coming out of it when actually turning it. So it's not as smooth, I feel, as the G923 in terms of the playability of it. But I definitely had to turn off the vibration for the G923 because I couldn't handle the vibration. It was just absolutely crazy. So that's sort of my first experience in terms of that with the G923. Let's try it with the G923 and see how we go with it. Alright, now let's give this bad boy a go. Yeah, straight away you feel a lot of vibration, straight away. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Alright, straight away the clutch pedal definitely feels a lot better. And the vibrations on this controller are crazy. So once again, I do recommend just turning off the vibrations in the controller. But altogether, even the wheel feels a lot smoother in terms of the gameplay. I think also because a lot of things are updated in this controller, that's why I feel like it is a lot better to play with. The vibration is also coming from the True Force feedback. It feels like you're actually riding on the actual surfaces. And you can feel the motors in here actually twisting, turning. Yeah, it's crazy. When the braking happens, you can feel it sort of slowing down with the vibrations, and the gears are actually turning with the G923, so it feels like more of a professional racing wheel. And if you can turn off the actual vibration settings on the G923, so you don't have to deal with that. And I feel like overall, you probably get a better experience out of the G923 because of the more updated software. You know, we've got the True Force features, we've got the haptic feedback, and we still have the connectability to the Logitech G Hub for customizing all the buttons. It just feels more of an updated version of the G29. And I feel like you would have an overall better time as a player of Gran Turismo or even Need for Speed with this controller. Also because of the ease of connectability and everything, just feels like a better racing wheel altogether. Okay, so overall, those are my thoughts and feelings on the comparison between the Logitech G29 and the G923. Both are at separate price ranges. I think the G923 is a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of worthwhile spending a little bit more to get a better experience out of your racing wheel. But both are pretty great. I feel like you're gonna get a great experience out of Gran Turismo either way, or any racing simulator or any racing game like Need for Speed, Heat, or Unbound, stuff like that. And like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll see you guys next time. Cosmetically are the exact same. Oh, oh my god. I wasn't expecting that to happen.